And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for finding some time this evening and join us for this live discussion. Please make sure to introduce yourself in the comments and let us know where you're watching us from tonight. Let me know also if you're in Melbourne and if you're excited about the restriction being lifted this Monday. So how are you going with, the isolation is almost over. So tonight we are going to discuss props and cons of filming marketing video yourself. So, those who've been following me for a while, you probably know that I film all my marketing videos just on my mobile phone. And it's also one thing that I actually teach people, how they can, cost effectively create engaging video content just on their mobile phone in their living room. But is it always the right strategy for your business? So tonight we are going to discuss props and cons of filming marketing video yourself and discuss some situation maybe that you should consider actually engage video production company. So, these days, video is extremely powerful business tool for your business, and the majority of business moving online. So it's important to actually get results when you're publishing and producing your video content, especially because it's a marketing video content need to create conversions. So obviously it's an incredibly relevant topic tonight. So please make sure you tag the people who need to hear this. Hopefully we might have some videographers in the audience as well, so they can contribute in our discussion. And before I'll pass it on to Daniel to introduce himself, I just want to remind you that we are going live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube tonight. So you can watch replays on any of these platforms. I do recommend go to YouTube because it's the easiest way to find videos, obviously. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification button to get reminders, because I'm going live every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Melbourne time, with various experts from my network talking about all the things effective online communication, LinkedIn, personal branding, and content marketing. So we are going to answer all your questions from all the platforms. So please make sure if you have any question, pop it in the comments. And, you can ask as many questions as you want, as long as you stay on the topic, obviously. And the most active participants will also receive a nice surprise at the end of the stream. So anyway, so I'm just gonna pass it on to Daniel to introduce himself. Make sure you unmute yourself too.
There we go. Thanks, Yana. Hi, so appreciate the opportunity to have a chat. And look, I guess to introduce what I do, so I run a production company in Essendon, a visual production agency. So I've been in the business in video for over 15 years now. So it's been a long journey seeing, how the change of video has sort of progressed over the last few years, from the old DVDs, or people even back before then we had the VHS, and now everything's basically online, and seeing that change has been huge. So I guess it's great to see how people have now adapted to making video themselves, because back then it was very, very difficult. But I've been in the business for 15 years, as I mentioned. We work with all kinds of clients. We've done work with small businesses, small businesses, as well as up to large companies. We even filmed like the Melbourne Cup last year, had 15 people take care of our production to, take care of big events and whatnot. So it's been great. Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. And I guess I'm really excited about our tonight's conversation, because I will be pretty much just playing a devil's advocate, and we'll be like, no, film it on the mobile phone, and we'll be like, no, film it on the camera. So Daniel just shared with me a picture of his new camera, and Sony. That's all I can say. It's a Sony.
Yep, it's FX9.
And probably the whole setup here will cost Daniel about 30 grand, and right?
Yeah, it's about 30 to start with. That's just with one lens. We actually purchased some new gear recently with all the lenses and everything. It was a $40,000 purchase, and that doesn't include everything. That's just some stuff. So it's an expensive investment, yes.
And I will be talking about Samsung S10 Plus that cost me $1,000.
Yana, look at this. 10 Plus.
Here we go. You see, I even put it here so everyone can see it. It
Awesome.
has the sparkles on it. So, and tonight we're going to talk what is actually, most effective, Samsung S10 Plus or $30,000 of equipment. So make sure to join us for some questions. We have, if I'm pronouncing some names wrong, please forgive me. We have Anali joining us, and Steve is here, excited about going outside finally. And guys, whoever is joining us today, please also let us know, do you use video in marketing currently? Have you used it before? Like, are you using it now? Has it been effective for you? So please share with us in the comments. And look, I before I pass it on to Daniel, I just probably want to share my view or on the subject, because yes, I do help people obviously to film videos on their mobile phones, but I believe it all depends. The reason why we decide to go with the mobile phone or with the professional camera, it all depends on your customer journey, and a little bit on your industry also, I think, and your customers' expectations as well. Because look, so I think in the simple words, how I would, decide if you're filming video on the mobile phone or go with the camera, I would say as further in your customer journey you are, as more you can give up on the quality. So, it's awareness and consideration stage where you can, really need to think about the really high quality production. But once you're in like retention stage and like loyalty and things like this, that's a time when you can go live in your pajamas from your living room, almost like we do now. And because people is already like you, people already coming to you for your content. So you actually can a bit like be not as considerate about your visuals and like your production quality, because people come to you for content. But if I'll see some crappy video, then I'm scrolling through my LinkedIn profile and someone just shaking and trying to film a selfie video, and it's my first time seeing this person, that might be a bit different impression. So it all comes down to this first impression line, because now we don't see people face to face, and it's the same story. Your first impression, it's your first video or your first video call. Whatever people see you, when people see you on the screen, then it will be your first expression. So we have a few more people here. Perfect. Stuart's here as well. Thank you guys for joining us. So Daniel, what do you think? Are you agree with me? And what do you have to add to my kind of overview?
Yeah, I think your diagram explains it well. I believe that depending on the purpose, what is the strategy behind the video? I mean, there's so many, you can create so many kinds of videos. There's no right or wrong, but I think depending on where the video is going, what the main purpose is, the strategy behind it, who's it going to be seen by, there's reasons behind it. And if you're going to create content, I think it's important to realize how you're going to create that content. There can be so many different cameras, but it's not all necessarily about cameras. It's necessarily about who's the script writer, who's the editor, who's creating the graphics, who's creating this story. So there's all different people involved in a bigger production, and that's what a big production's about, is bringing a team of people together to help produce a marketing video for somebody. And then there's also people like yourself, Fiona, that can give them strategy to do it themselves, because there's not always a reason to create a professional video. There is so many great ways to create really good, authentic video with your mobile phone. And the tips you give are fantastic, because I hate when I watch people do it themselves and they've got, backlight, and they've got all these, they've got their faces are black. It's got, just no lighting on their faces. The audio is awful. The silhouettes, and there's all these awful ways of looking on a camera, because little things like lighting and audio haven't been adjusted correctly. So little things like that is where I think it starts. Yeah.
Actually, I have a picture here. There we go. That's one of my videos. And I was
which project?
That's this little power of the lighting.
Very scary. There you go.
It's incredible. It's incredible what lighting can do, and like sometimes then people not used to be in front of a camera or not really familiar with the production. It's something that they just not always consider. They not really think about that lighting is so important. Then you're trying to create some video tip. But it comes with practice.
Yeah, it does. And it's funny, over my journey of hiring many different videographers over the years and different specialists in lighting, audio, script writing, everyone has their strength, especially if you're doing a high-end production. So, I mean, if you can know a little bit about everything, it's great, because if you do something yourself, you can at least do something if you need to do something on the go. It's not always going to be something that you want to do if it's a small video that you might want to spend a lot of money on. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to do that.
And it's I think like creating video yourself, it's a great opportunity to test your strategy, because and I think I even have slide here. Look, I'm so prepared.
Yes, yeah.
Because often we think that we know our customer journey and we think that we know our strategy, but it's not always we nailing it on the first go. So sometimes I feel like filming videos on a mobile phone, it's a really good way to test your audience and test your customer journey. And once you're quite clear about your overall marketing strategy and your overall content marketing plan, that's where it's a great opportunity to take it to video production company and make it evergreen, make it more powerful for your website, or especially for your website compared to social media.
The first page, your homepage, like, the first thing someone sees, do you want the wow factor? Is it going to look professional enough for you to sell your business, your services? So, if it's something that's done incorrectly, it's not professional, and it looks really, how many words can we use, Yana? Bad lighting, bad audio, bad reflection of yourself and your business. Like, all these things on your front page, people go, wow, this person must be unprofessional. I mean, it's just the first reaction someone gets when they see these things. I guess there's no real words to explain it. I think it's just the feeling someone gets when they see these things, when they first look at your website. I believe that creates instant trust. When you feel like you go on somewhere that looks creative, that looks like it's professional, you have that instant trust factor. So I think there's a reason why, people have professional videos when they have it on their homepage, and then they have, a lot of vlogs and, walk and talks on their, lives and stuff like that, because that creates the whole, as you said, it's very, I guess it's authentic. You want to see the authentic person as well. And you can do that with your own videos.
100%. The authentic is a really overused word sometimes. We all hear this, like being authentic. But so it is at the end of the day about transforming-ness, and it's about relating to your audience as well. Sometimes, like, I do believe then I see some have like overdone video, like they have too much makeup and they have like millions of layers going on, and for me sometimes it actually can create a bit of a disconnection as well. Because it feels like, this person not as authentic. So it is interesting balance. You really need to understand your audience expectations and your brand as well, because it could be also discouraging for some people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We say the same thing. If we've got studio packages, so if people want to be filmed in our green screen studio in here, we can create a really simplified, video for them with changing the background with their branding or whatnot. Now, the good thing is about the studio is we can coach them how to speak, but sometimes we should suggest to them, do not overdo what you wear. Like you said, wear something that you wear in a sales meeting. If you're meeting with someone in real life, that's what you wear in the studio, because you got to be your authentic self. You don't want to be overdressed. If you don't sell yourself in a tie and suit, don't wear a tie and suit, wear a polo. Something, just we want to see the real person behind, in front of the camera. So that's so important. Yeah.
We have a question from the audience, actually. I keep hearing strategy, but can you give me an example of strategy or two? So Daniel, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Well, the strategy is basically the pre-production stages. It's understanding what it is that you need to create to help your business in creating videos. So we got to, the strategy part of it is understanding your business. What is it that we need to do and create to make and create traction for your business? So the strategy session is getting understanding really of what type of video you need. Is it a testimonial video? Is it a video of yourself speaking on camera? Is it an explainer video? Is it an animation video? Really, understanding what your needs are and what you're trying to sell. If you want to market something. So that's the strategy part of the video component. And that's, like I said, pre-production stages. That's the first thing we do before we do any production. We've got to understand the strategy behind it.
And I think people need to understand that production actually it's the last stage of your video journey.
Well, still in the middle. Yeah, sort of. You're right. It's the production. You got the filming, and then you got the post production, which is all the editing.
Post production. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right, Yana. It is at the end of it because without the right planning and strategy in place, well, we can't just create something without that, or you're just basically wasting money. You don't just create something because you want to create something.
I actually have a slide here too. Talking about the strategy. Like I always say, ask yourself 2 questions when you're filming video, especially if we talk about video for social media. What value this video will bring to your audience, and what's the purpose of this video for your business?
Purpose. Exactly. Purpose is number 1. I think so many people want to create video because they want to create video just because they think that the algorithms are great for their social media. Oh, but I just want a video. I want video. It's like, well, what's the purpose? I've said no to clients before because I'm like, there's no purpose to this. Go and do it yourself. Yeah. There's no reason for you to spend money if there's no purpose. It's so important. Yeah.
And purpose could be, again, and we're coming back to this, the customer journey. And purpose will depend, of your customer journey. Is the purpose of bringing new customers? Is the purpose of asking maybe a question, getting feedback from existing customers? Is the purpose of, encourage loyalty and ask your existing clients to bring you more business? So, it's, talking about strategy, it's coming back to marketing strategy at the end. Yeah. So, and creating these videos.
That's right. And I was going to say, these days is a lot about educating customers too. There's so much about education, free advice. That stuff there is gold, especially during this pandemic. Like everyone wants to provide free advice. We've done a lot of live streaming videos in our studio where our clients are giving free advice online about certain topics. So there's just so many ways you can create, traction for your business. If it's free advice, if it's selling a product or service, or it could even be creating a marketing video that also is a training video. We do that as well. We create something that's a bit of a mix. It trains them how to use a product, but also sells the product as well. And there's a lot of fine tuning in the script writing to make sure it spells it out correctly so the clients understand that.
Yeah, 100%. Educational content is, I think educational content is the king at the moment because there's so much content online. Unless something is actually solving some problem for the client, it's or entertaining, it's good. I actually have all these slides here too from my previous webinar. Inspire, educated, or entertain. That's I think like three main purposes of a video. It's need to or entertain, or educate, or inspire you to do something.
That's fantastic. We've got a motto in our business that has basically 3 words as well, so it's very similar. Yeah.
What's your 3 words?
Well, let's see. You put it. Actually, you know what? It's been such a long time since I read my marketing brand. There you go. I've got to get my brochure.
It's got you on the spot.
Yeah, you got me good. Intrigue. It's about 5 years old. Give me a second. I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay, guys. While Daniel is looking for his brochure, please let me know if it's making sense what we're discussing at the moment, and Ali, let me know if we actually answer your question or you have any further questions about the strategy component. Did you find it?
Yep, got it here. So stories that engage, intrigue, and entertain. Very similar to what you're saying.
Intrigue? Sorry, I missed it. Intrigue.
Stories that engage, intrigue, and entertain.
Okay, so there's no educate in your one.
No educate, no. But it's close.
It's close. Okay, so let's go to props and cons, Daniel. So what are the actual, props and cons on filming marketing? Now, tell me what's the pluses of filming video through the video production company?
Definitely the strategy session. Not setting your objectives. That's the first thing. I think a lot of people in business just want to create a video for the sake of creating a video. We help with that journey. So the strategy session. the helping with the presentation. I mean, depending on the kind of video we're developing, it could be that we're helping with the script, the questions that we're going to ask on a testimonial video, the voiceover, whatever we're creating. We by understanding the strategy and the I guess the pre-production stages of creating all these elements, we then come up with those the presentation ability, making sure that the message is clear. If there's an unclear message, then obviously that's an issue with the video. Badly written scripts, as I mentioned before, we say that all the time. And I've got, in my team, professional marketing experts that are copywriters, and they will go through the script and fine tune it to make sure it's really written correctly. It sells, the business correctly. It's marketable.
Do you think there is a difference between, some people might be good copywriters themselves, yeah? So, for example, they already, have some sort of article or something. So, do you think that writing a script will be quite different from just having your content ready?
We work with a lot of marketing managers, people that write scripts in their businesses, in larger businesses and they write their own content. We fine tune it because they have set ways that they have to write about their brand. And we just fine tune it right for a voiceover, for example, because if we're going to have a professional voiceover for the video, we've got to make sure it sounds great on a video. So yeah, there's a language, there's a tone, there's a style that we have to make sure of to make it sound right for video. It's not like writing content for a book. It's very different. It's not writing content for a website. It's very different. It's got its own tone. So we support that as well.
And also need to be conversational. I think that I notice a lot, sometimes people write the script and they're trying to read the script and the video looks a bit stiff because they're really trying to
they got their content off their website.
trying to remember the script.
Exactly. Also bad camera operating. I mean, like some people don't know how to use the camera correctly if they use it themselves, or they might have someone that just started doing camera work, is it filmed correctly? And all the elements that come with that, which is sound, audio, lighting, all these elements, and then the editing, all these come together to create a professional production. So I guess that's why I say it really behind this is a team of people. It's not one person that can create it. If you want a professional video, there's some great people out there that I've used that have multi-talents. I mean, I started on my own when I was only 20 years old and I had to do everything. I was a one-man band. I had the camera, I did the editing, I did the lighting, did the audio, and I learned a lot of these things. But as I grew my business and I wanted better results for my clients, I brought in people better than me in certain areas, like better writers, better people at lighting, better people at audio, and just things that I needed to support the business and get the better result.
100%. I think we have more questions. Back to strategy questions. I find it hard to sell a service. I deliver customer Microsoft Service Office training in Sydney. How I can make an interesting video without having people around the computer?
Good question. Customizing a training in Sydney. Well, I mean, these are the kind of videos that I suppose are more based on, you're selling really a customized training service. So something like this will be good. I see it, a voiceover, something that could even be an animation. It could be something that even yourself as a business owner can talk on our green screen and talk about basically how, you deliver this customized service, and behind you on the green screen, the actual information and the visuals of what it looks like comes behind you, only for like 45 seconds. If you're selling this service, 45 seconds is plenty. So just giving people an insight of what you're delivering for your clients, I think is really key for something like this. It's simple, is effective. You don't have to go and, spend 10 minutes trying to explain your service or something like this, especially.
Look, also with the services like this, you can do screen share. You can do screen share videos yourself, because I'm talking about creating videos yourself. You create the screen share videos through Zoom or through the StreamYard. So the StreamYard that I'm using now. So StreamYard allows to share your screen in real time and still have your face in the video. So that kind of videos you can create. So usually, like, again, I think when you have a product that's not as visual, so if you're selling shoes, it's a different story. It's visual, you can shoot it on different angle and stuff. So then you have a service. That's when it's
Yeah.
come to be more educational, and how
Yeah.
you can educate and show it at the same time.
Yeah.
So like I usually advise my clients, don't reinvent the wheel and wheel. And I actually have a picture. I like this picture. I can't wait to. Here you go. So don't reinvent the wheel, and think about some content that already been successful on your website. Maybe you have some part of the training that's been really successful, or you have a really successful blog post, and think how you can convert it into the explainer video.
Jana,
Because it's already well performing. It's already like, if it's already well performing content, how you can, repurpose this educational content into the video piece.
Yeah, and you could even add in testimonials in there as well. Like if you've got some of these screenshots of what it delivers, you can say, now here's some feedback from our customers, and you can have them, if you use your mobile phone and do it yourself, as long as it's lit right and it sounds great, you can actually do some of these testimonials yourself and film some feedback from your customers. That's you don't want computers on your camera, get your customers on camera. Get 3 or 4 of them, cut it together and make a little story out of it that goes for about a minute. That sells your service right there. Nothing's better than 100%. The people that you, simple as that.
And just make sure that you take testimonials from people. They're not like, hating to be in front of a camera and trying just to go through the script as quickly as possible.
That's
so
right.
Try to ask them to tell a little bit this story as well. So tell them how they feel before they get your service and how they feel after they receive your service, instead of saying like, oh, the training was great. It was great, and I recommend it to everyone. So
it's you're correct. That's one question that just does, and that's the problem. People only ask one question: what do you think of our service? And there's just one answer. So ask questions till you get enough out of out of the answers. So you might say, okay, why was the service fantastic? And then you might hear something that you love out of that answer. Say, let's dig deeper into that. How did that work for you? And get them to talk, like you said, Jana, it's a story. And then you can cut up the pieces into a bit it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You grab all the content and you cut it up into a story that sells your product or your service. Yeah.
And then coming back, like if you want to create it yourself or you want to go to the production company. So I would say, like, if you're grabbing testimonials from your customer yourself, you need to make sure, again, like they're comfortable in front of the camera, because it will be great to film it just in one go. So if I'm grabbing testimonials from my clients on my mobile phone, it's usually in one go. So, like we'll do little like run through a few times, and I just ask them to really like talk about like how they felt before, they did my workshop or webinar, and how they feel after. And I usually ask them something, what's the like a biggest takeaway? What's something they can implement straight away, or things like this. And I film it in one go. But if your customer quite, uncomfortable doing that, then you need a bit more video editing. You need to maybe put some bits and pieces from the training, maybe some behind the scenes from the training or something like this. That's where you need a video production company to make it a bit more, B-roll, and make it a bit more visually interesting. But if it's just like 1 minute, your customer talking about your service, Samsung S10.
Yeah. Well, Jana, we did a video for an IT company, even though people say, oh, but I just work on computers, or it's how do I show that off? Well, we created a testimonial for them, and they had 2 of their customers in the same premises. And we filmed great B-roll of, their customers on the computer, shaking hands, meeting with them, the customer experience. And it looks great. It was like a TV ad. Basically, it looked like a TV ad, but it was for their website. So, by using just different ways of getting content and creating something cool out of that, you can sell anything. You don't need to always show what it is, if that makes sense.
100%. Yeah, it just make it sometimes harder, and it's not like a visual product, and it's a service. So you need to look at this from a different side.
Yep.
Okay. So what's another pluses of getting videographer instead of doing it yourself?
Oh, I think the whole journey for the client is like, getting them to be part of the process. They love it. In all my years, every single client loved being part of the process from the beginning right to the end. So I think having them to be be creative with us. We like to include our clients to be part of the process. They feel like they've really given us input into how it's been created. And I believe that's really important for them. So that's another benefit, getting them to be creative with us. We all work together to create something that we've got more people involved in. So they're not on their own. This is not something that, they have to come up with them on their own. They don't have to stress about all these elements. I mean, I stress myself just on one component, let alone all the components. I love filming. I'm a great cinematographer. That's my background. But, if someone said to me, oh, can you write this script? I'll be like, not for me. I couldn't imagine someone that, does all these things and gets it right, especially if they're not in this field. So I believe everyone's got strengths and get the client to be involved in what they love, but also we get our whole team to be part of that with them, the journey. So yeah, that's I think the highlight for the client.
I totally agree, especially if if you're not planning to consistently produce video content. With my clients, what we're usually doing, we're like consistently producing it. They get used to it, because in the beginning it's time consuming. Like you can't deny the fact that the first time you're trying to film video yourself, it will take you time. And as much as I'm gonna justify the fact that filming video yourself is great, and it's good for your strategy and good for your engagement with clients and so on, in the beginning it will take you time. It will take you time to understand your lighting, understand even your mobile phone, like understand what you're doing in front of the camera, getting comfortable in front of the camera. In the beginning it will take 100 takes before you will you will like the video.
That's right. Yeah, we had someone today, Yana, in the studio, and it took about an hour to get the right take, and it was only for a 45-second video. And he goes, from the start, he was like sounding like he was a robot. Hi, my name is, and it was just, I'm like, okay, let's get, and we had to coach to the point where we got him to say, hi, and the energy came out, and the authenticity came out of them. And it takes time. And imagine all the other parts of it they have to worry about, let alone just speaking. So I think that's an advantage, having to not worry about all these other things and just worry about what to say and how to say it. I think that's, if they're going to be on camera, that's probably part of the, the whole strategy behind that is, really trying to make it easy for the client, if that makes sense.
We have another question here, Daniel. Julio is asking, how important do you think a proof of performance video is for business?
Proof of performance.
In which way proof of performance? I'm just trying to think, like in Julio, can you give us a bit more what do you mean by proof of performance? As I thought proof of performance is more like testimonials.
Videos, basically talking about how successful, I guess, their performance has been to their clients. How important is that? What
That's my understanding. It's coming back to testimonials. But Julio, if it's something else you mean by the proof of performance, let us know. But it also could be not only testimonials. It could be some videos with the partners, statistics, like a business partners. Statistics,
maybe statistics about why the businesses help their clients succeed. I mean, if that's the case, then I mean, all that stuff is so important because it shows that you've actually made a difference for your clients. And we do embed that into our clients' videos if that's what the clients need. So, if there's part of a script that it talks about how they've helped their client's journey succeed, they've made them more money, they've done this. Yes, definitely. I think, having that's great, but the detail itself really depends. Sometimes too much detail is not good. Sometimes you just keep it overall and say, we've helped our clients on the journey of increasing their sales by 50%. That's all they really need. You don't have to go into details of all the nitty gritty, but giving an overview about how great your success rate is for your clients is a really key ingredient to helping people trust that you'll be the right person.
We were right. Julio saying we were spot on. And spot on, Daniel. 45 seconds video will need multiplied takes for perfection. Totally agree with you.
Thanks.
Look, I must say, I usually film my video on the second take. So 45 seconds video will take me 3 minutes to create.
How many years have you been working on video content? It's been many years, hasn't it, Anna? practicing?
I did a lot in front of the camera. So in front of the camera as a model, like probably like 14 years. But started doing videos 2017, I would say.
Yeah. So you've been doing it for years.
Yeah, so
It takes
about
time. It does take time.
Takes time. In the beginning, you want to be perfectionist, and in the beginning, you take another take and take another take and take another. But once you find your voice, once you just, it's like muscle memory. You just know what it's totally muscle memory.
It comes naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it will feel awkward in the beginning, but as more you do it as anything, it feels more and more natural.
Yeah. And I was going to say there's different ways to create videos as well to make it feel more natural. And if that could be for some people, they love bullet points. You know, you might just want bullet points on a screen to help you encourage your message, or just remember what you have to say for that next, section of your script or your next section of your presentation. We use a teleprompter in our studio. So we've got the script, fine-tuned for the client. So they read word by word and they look like they're looking at the camera. No one will know they're reading off the teleprompter. So these little things that we help and support our clients with. But some people don't want the full script. They just want bullet points. Some people want to just say, I know what to say and I'm going to ad hoc it. You get all kinds of different people. Yeah.
To be honest, I think people look more natural than they don't do the full screen. From my experience, then I was, then I'm coach people to look more natural and talk about nonverbal communication. For them, it's harder to read the full screen and still make sure that their hands moving, that they're speaking, and the facial expression changes. So
hard. Yeah.
Bullet points usually works better instead of trying to memorize it. But people who think that they can go without any script, dreaming. because what's happened if you go without any script, or you start repeating yourself? Really often happens. People start repeating yourself, or you keep going on and you jump to the next subject.
Yeah.
Or you forget to call to action.
Yeah.
So that's three most common mistakes.
You know what I try to do? I mean, I did this a few times, is memorize the bullet points if you don't have them in front of you. So, if it's 3 key topics, memorize those key topics in your mind. And then when you've hit one point, go to the next point, then go to the next point, and then you've done your speech. That works really well if you don't have any paper in front of you or anything like that, or you don't want to look at anything else, because if you don't have a teleprompter, then you got to look off screen to put your presentation on. So there's things like that.
100%. Then I talk one sentence, I talk one paragraph of my video. In my mind, I'm thinking about the next bullet point. Otherwise, you finish your paragraph and you get to this awkward moment that, oh my God, what's next? And that's where you start repeating yourself and talking about the same thing again.
Yep, totally, exactly. And I was going to say, though, with the teleprompter, Jana, I think if they're coached right, they can get it done well. They can do really well. I think it's just about the coaching behind it. Because, firstly, it's about the practice. It might take a few goes, but once they know what the words are coming and they sort of half memorize the words, then they're not reading it anymore. They're really just using the teleprompter as a guide. So you're reading, but you're not reading. And then when they have that energy and they use their body and then they, project their voice like they're talking to an audience, then suddenly it feels like they're speaking to an audience without reading off a teleprompter. And that's when we've got the key. That's when we've got the gold on camera. And we're like, yep, that's a take. No mistakes. You smashed it. Let's use that take. So I love that. I love seeing people in the studio just, I guess, start off where they're open up.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I've had people that are so scared and so, I guess you could say that socially they wouldn't ever dare to do something like that. But we've opened them up in the studio and got their personality out, and people go, wow, that was amazing. They really have a great time doing it.
I would say usually 40 minutes in that moment. 40 minutes in, you get this open up moment. I don't know why, but I've noticed it's like this 40 minutes mark. I don't have any, explanation, but 40 minutes.
Spot on. Today was 40 minutes. I think at around 40 minutes in, we got the take at the end. It was, and it was hard for this client because it was his first time ever doing anything like this. So I was spot on. We usually give it an hour in total.
We have a question from Oscar.
Oscar.
So one of your mates.
How are you?
Good to see you sharing your experience. What are your top tips for a presenter to connect with the audience through the lens?
Wow,
You go and
great
then
question.
I'll add.
Look, great question, man. I think to really get people to be part of the journey of, you know, I guess, or feeling like they're part of the video, there's a lot of little ways you can do that. I say that, you know, like Yana said, I think keeping it quite authentic in not having a script. If you're doing something that's like a question and answer thing, like, you know, get them to be part of it, like ask questions, because you want people to, you want it to be interactive. You want people to be like, you know, connecting with their people. So I will suggest, you know, opening a question and answer like this, so people are part of it. Making sure that if they are doing something or a promotional video about a particular thing, I guess having in that presentation or that script information about, you know, their audience. So it's hard to explain it unless I know like exactly the type of business, but you might say, for example, you know, if someone is talking about a cleaning business like today, if their audience is other cleaning business, you know, they've got trades, so they advertise to cleaning companies that are going to buy their cleaning equipment. Talk about those companies. You know, are you finding it frustrating to find the right equipment at the right price? You know, ask the question, and then, you know, this is where we can help. We provide services like this and this to ensure that da 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 da. So bring in those questions, I guess, in your script to help your audience understand what you can help provide them. I hope that explains it. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of keys, a lot of things in there, but, you know.
I have a slide actually about it. That's one of the quotes that I like. People don't care how much you know. Oh no, that's one as well. But no, that's a different one. Here we go. I've learned that people will forget that you said. People will forget what you did, but will never forget how you make them feel. I do believe that a lot of this engaging with the audience comes through, if you're talking about just the simple video as like, you know, talking head kind of video, not just full on, you know, visuals and transition video. If we're just talking about a presenter presenting into a camera, I think it comes down to really simple nonverbal communication. It's like looking directly into the camera, because how many people like don't look at the camera and looking on the side or looking at the same on the screen? There's just non-verbal connection with your audience that people feel like you're talking to them. Your facial expressions, like, again, like we're coming back to this, like tension. If you don't remember your script, the tension will be on your facial muscles. You know, your eyes will move up because you're trying to remember your script. If your eyes will move up and you're remembering your script, it looks like you're lying, or, you know, you're imagining something. So this like little nonverbal cues are actually quite powerful if we're talking really simple, straight to the camera videos. And hand gestures. I always talk about hand gestures because they really strongly connected with speaking and thinking. If your hands doing something not related to the speech, you will never relate to your audience. You know, like if I will keep doing this and I'm talking to you, you don't even care anymore what I'm talking there, because all I'm worried about is how my hair looks like at the moment. So look at the camera, you know, think about your facial expressions, try to relax your face, and make sure your hands move with your speech as well. So that's my top tips.
I agree. I think your personality on camera is so important. Like if it's dry, if you're not relating to your audience, I mean, it's not just your message, it's the person behind, you know, in front of the camera, I should say. That's why if some people don't feel like they want to do this or be in front of the camera, let's get a presenter or a professional actor or someone that can do that for you. You know, I've got plenty of great contacts that will come in and do that for the client if the client doesn't want to be in front of the camera, because they're just not comfortable. You got to make it feel like, you know, that's right. All those elements make a huge difference.
And also editing helps too, you know, because again, like if you're filming your video yourself, you will keep taking another take. But if you go to, you know, to video production company, that's where, like, you know, you can help them to cut these best bits and pieces and put them together. Where like, you know, like I won't be, you know, if I'm filming a video myself, it will take me forever. Like go there and try to mix and match the best, you know, sentence from each take. You're not gonna do it, you know.
There's little tricks, Yana, that we do in production. Like today, we film everything in 4K. So For example, if there's a mistake halfway through the script, but it's in a paragraph where we can start that paragraph again, we'll start from there instead of starting from the start, because we've already got really great, presentation up to that point. And then we'll cut in on editing. So what we do is actually zoom in on the face more, and it looks like another camera angle. You zoom in and then you can zoom out afterwards. So the cuts have to look clean though. It has to look seamless. So it doesn't have, audio doesn't sound really, what's the word? When you edit, if audio clashes, if audio jumps or clashes, there's an issue. You've got to make sure there's enough space. As a professional, camera operator, and we're listening to the audio, we've got to make sure there's enough space in between the audio parts, and then enough, where we're going to cut it. And the hands are not in a different place. Like if they're saying something here and their hands are up here, and the next shot their hands are down, then you're going to see the cut. So we always look at where the hands are and where the body is and where the face is. So little things like that.
100%. And if you're doing it yourself, you don't have time to think about it. Like if I screw up, I always will start with the beginning of the sentence. If I want to, cut some blurb. But that's maximum I will do. I usually just, redo the whole thing in one go. But it takes time. Like it's.
We do the same. Yeah. I'd rather go right from the start again. If we can do it in one take, the tone of the person is the same throughout the video. Because if you sometimes do a few takes, you notice your tone changes. You might be more energetic in one part of it, not energetic in the other. And if you cut it all up, suddenly it sounds like, what the? Suddenly you're loud, then you're soft, and so it doesn't sound right. Doing it in one take, I mean, that's what we love to have. It's the one take wonder, we call it. It's like the dream.
The dream. Look, Daniel, we already talked for 46 minutes. I think it's time to wrap it up slowly. Guys, if you have some final questions, please make sure you put in the comments. I actually haven't. I have another example. Another example when the visuals not as meta, another example against videographers, live streaming, live streaming, it's quite forgiving with with the setup and stuff. Like for example, I'm streaming just from my laptop computer, like just from my web camera inbuilt in my laptop. And the quality is, as you can say, pretty good. Even Daniel has his like a $30,000 camera. But the thing is, when you're streaming, it's still stream at like 720 whatever resolution. So it doesn't really make any like much difference in this case. And when you're in this like loyalty stage of your business, when you want to really connect and talk with your clients, I think live streaming is great. And these guys, founders of StreamYard, because I really like StreamYard. Obviously, I'm using them. Look at their visuals. Visuals horrible, yeah. So like they didn't care. They just go live like this. But I watch every single episode because I already bought their software. I want to know updates. I want to ask the questions. I don't care what sort of visuals they have. What's in their background, what they're wearing. I don't care anymore. I'm like, I'm already loyal customer who want to ask, real question and get real answers. So, it's again, we're coming back to this, what this video for. Yep. Yeah. So if it's something for just connecting with your audience, especially social media, we're not talking like putting a bunch of the like crappy looking videos on your website and stuff. So especially social media, then the content just moves so quickly. You might as well make sure you have a combination of the, evergreen video production quality content and just quick snippets on your mobile phone. So that's my.
We don't have to fight that.
Wrapping it up.
I'm not going to argue with you there. No, I think
I'm glad you agreed.
Content at the end of the day, I mean, if it's great content and people want to listen to the person, of course they're going to watch it. It doesn't matter how good it looks or how good it sounds. I mean, and audio, the lighting or whatever, because it's great content. And that's why people even do podcasts. They just need good audio. You don't have to even watch it. You can use the podcast in the car. You can drive. You don't always have to do video as well. You can do other ways. Get the audio and just extract that.
I'm still using my mobile Samsung Samsung S10. I need to get affiliation link for Samsung. I think like I just gonna sell so many
I
Samsungs
love
today.
Samsung. Yeah, I love it.
So I'm just still using my headphones from a Samsung, to be honest. Probably
Yeah,
not
good.
obviously the best quality, but again,
Yeah.
again, then someone already committed to listen to you for an hour. It's usually because of the content you provide, not because your sound is really good.
Yeah.
So,
I'm using a $1,000 microphone right above me. You hear that tapping? So that's connected via an XLR lead all the way around. It's on a boom here. It's going around into my professional camera. That's in front of me now. So, you know, I guess these sort of microphones are great for studio, but also we use some testimonials, and you know, they're great microphones broadcast. But then we use lapel mics for other reasons if people are walking and talking or whatever. So different microphones for different purposes. For online, like you said, your microphone's fantastic. It's clean, it's clear. But the thing is, you got no background noise, Yana. You know what you're doing.
No.
Some people have, you know, the washing machine right near them. You hear something, all these extra sounds in the background. These are little things that sometimes, I guess, you know, where you help people coach them to say, these are the things you have to be aware of, because, you know, they distract the viewer, and it's the last thing you want.
100%, and I agree. Yes, so if it would be like noisy here, would be completely different story. But you know, like there is no one in my living room, so
Right.
so it's nice and quiet. And again, this sound like will be recorded on the cloud, and it will be just this kind of type of quality. So it's again depends where this video going to. Like, you know, if it would be TV commercial, we wouldn't be doing this this way.
Oh, these days, how much more do you see Zoom meetings on TV because of COVID? Everyone's on, you know, on Zoom or you know, streaming online, and they got no choice. So I think everyone's getting a little bit used to seeing this quality on TV as well. It's the norm. It's quite funny. I've noticed that trend now. Everyone just accepts it. It's not out of the norm anymore.
People forgiving about the quality 100%. But again, I think it's back to customer journey, and you know, what's your audience expectation. Also, again, maybe different industry. You know, maybe like if you're in the fashion industry, you know, visuals is really important. You know, and on the beauty industry, you know, if you film the video for the beauty industry and your lighting just all over the place, you know, who's gonna buy you know, beauty products from me here? Look, it's so again, it really depends. So guys, so yeah, I love talking obviously, but let's try to wrap it up. So everyone, as I said, like I do go live every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Next Wednesday, we're going live with Andrew, and we're going to talk what to post on LinkedIn to attract your ideal clients. So we dived into LinkedIn content strategy next week, and week after I will be interviewing myself. How exciting! And week after I will be talking about how to feel confident in front of the camera. So obviously you can't miss this one. So put it in the calendar, 4th of November, because I'm going to talk about all this like negative thinking that comes into your mind and the camera is pointed at you, and why so many people actually might feel so comfortable when they're talking, even like on the stage and with the audience, but completely like go blank that someone point the camera at you. So if you're one of those people, make sure to tune in on the 4th of November at 5:30. And so Daniel, the last word from you.
No, thanks for everyone listening. It's been great. Appreciate the opportunity, Yana. As always, it's always a pleasure. Hopefully when all this is over, you can come to the studio again, and we might do a video in here like we did last. I think it's been a year or two now, hasn't it, since you've had opportunity to film something? So it'll be fun.
I think year and a half for sure. Yeah, at least a year and a half.
Yeah, no, I look forward to seeing everything start up again for everybody, and you know, getting out of this crazy time. So hope everyone's going well, and I guess it's a tough one, but I'm sure things will start getting back to normal soon.
Fingers crossed. It already feels better. So let's stay positive. Let's stay
Yep.
positive and hope that we'll have a great Christmas this year.
Yep, spot on.
10 of us. 10 of us. Yeah.
Thanks, Diana.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, guys,
Thanks,
and I'll
everyone.
see you next Wednesday.
Bye.